What's up, y'all? It's Dr. David Rhoiney. I hope everybody's doing well. Man, it's been a couple days. Haven't posted a video. My challenge is over, but I do want to keep the YouTube thing going and sort of find a cadence that works. So maybe one time a week, 2 times a week. But no matter what, we're going to grow. Again, this is Dr. David Rhoiney from Surgify. And, today I follow through on one of my rules, right? One of my rules is like, if something has a abnormal gain, I shouldn't say abnormal gain, because I expect if I did my job correctly, if I looked at a stock correctly, it should go up over time. But along the way, you need to take profits, right? And I learned this during the pandemic, and I talked about it before. There's a company I really like called Cerence Technology, right? It's voice enabled, sort of think of it as like Alexa for your car, even though Amazon tried that, but they're really good at it. It's a spinoff from Nuance, which Nuance I'm familiar with because of dictation software, specifically Dragon Dictation. So I really like this company. And then the pandemic pulled all of its profits forward, like literally all of it. And I didn't recognize that. My fault. And, it went up about 5x. And I'm like, cool, I'm just going to sit because guess what? I'm supposed to own things for the long haul. Well, that's a dumbass fucking move, right? Because what happened is I went up 5x and then I dropped 50%. And it's just been me bag holding for a long time until a couple months ago. I said, you know what? I just got to accept this loss and pull chalks, right? I got to move on with my life. Well, this time around, these days when it comes to individual investments and like individual stocks, I really don't care what the company does. And that sounds bad. But the reality is like, if it fits a certain model, and for me, it's things that are cheap, they have low beta, right? And greater than 20% return on equity. And then I'm throwing in some technical factors where I'm looking at whether or not the trend is sort of going in the right direction. I don't short companies, but I want to make sure that I'm looking at the trend and the relative strength index, and sort of the trend needs to be headed in the right direction. If the short-term trend and a long-term trend is headed in the right direction, then, that works for me. So I start with a value fundamental based approach and then look at technical indicators to see if that's what I want to get. I do not pay attention to the balance sheet anymore. I'm done with that, right? Because I don't have the time. But these technical indicators are very good. So, and I lowered the amount that I was willing to put into any one particular company to a lower amount to increase the amount of positions over that I may have, exposures I may have, and sort of diversify my risk. Now, there's a chance that, just like with anything, if you go to a blackjack table, you might get the answer wrong 10 times in a row. The sequence of returns matters, right? So like every single time I do this, you're starting over, but these things accumulate. But anyway, there's a company that I sold today. I sold half because it was up 80%. My investment is up in a couple months, 80%. Cool. Sold half, and I took some profits off the table. I took some risk off the table because guess what? It's an energy company. It can literally turn, the market can go the other way, and I can lose 80%. And then I'm sitting there looking like, man, I wish it went back up. And that happens to a lot of people. People don't realize that over time, you got to sort of take profits. And that is not something that people really think about. Now, if you have an index fund, you're going to be an index fund forever. You don't really care about any of that, right? My 401k, my TSP, 403b, 450, whatever you have. I don't care about any of the trading aspects. I just put money in, put more money in. When I'm ready to use that money, like it's going to be years from now, right? So I don't care about the short-term trading aspects. However, I do like trading. I learn about trading. And you know what? I have a fascination with casinos and banks. So of course I like trading. I know that about me. All right. I know about my relationship with money. I also limit the amount of money that I'm willing to do that with. Because I'm not stupid, man. I'm going up against hedge funds and that, which is the reason why I also stick to the lower end of the market, like micro caps and things of that sort. So I don't have to worry about the big boys, right? I don't want to play that ball game. I don't have enough weight to play that game. So I play on the other end. But people just have to understand, if you're going to trade individual securities, like, you need one to have an edge. I don't really have an edge. I use a system, and it's completely based upon quantitative factors. I'm very nonchalant. I don't do the whole looking at balance sheet things anymore. Unless I want to invest in a company long term, I do not look at the balance sheet. If it's just a trade, I just care about the things I talked about. Does it pop up on my screen? And then the second thing is the technical factors I look at. But no matter what, if you have an investment, a short-term investment, a trade that goes up, take profits off the table. Don't leave as much of that out there, because you need to lock in. Who cares if it's 25%, 30%, 5%, 10%? If the prospects of it look like it's going down and your rules are no longer apply, take profits off the table. And that's what I started to do. I looked at the technical factors and I'm like, I don't know, man. This can go either way. You know what? I'm asking myself the question. I'm going to take it off the table. Anyway, there are books you can read. There's forums you can read. There's great blog posts. There's people who are way smarter about this stuff than me. I'm still learning, but these are things that I've learned, and I've learned with time, and it seems to work pretty well. Read Market Wizards. I love that book. I can't believe people are telling me not to read that book, but I love that book. And you can't do that stuff today, because guess what? That's well-known knowledge now. But anyway, I hope everybody's doing well. I'll talk to you later. Peace.